let's talk housing. So the bill has passed. In terms of the measurement of success, a lot of these schemes say up to. Are you confident in the numbers of this? Are you going to be able to look back and say we did build 30,000 extra homes, and how will that be quantified? I mean, is this just the up to, and no matter how many are built, it's this sort of rubbery figure we can't put our finger on?
These are 30,000 new homes, Tom, and it is a really important contribution to the overall pool of affordable housing in this country. Now, we know that it's not just social and affordable housing that requires our attention. We know too that we need to bring on supply in the private market as well, and that's the basis of the National Housing Accord that the Prime Minister, the Treasurer and Minister Collins have been negotiating with the states and territories and with industry. This is an area of policy that is incredibly important for nearly all Australians. We've sought to bring a real focus to it in our first 15, 16 months of government. It is worthy of attention because if we can't get this right, there are a lot of other challenges that we will find a lot more difficult to meet.
The Coalition opposed it, but you said on the grounds that it wasn't enough. So does that mean you would scrap it if you got into power, or are you just saying we'll do this plus some other stuff?
This is the Housing Australia Future Fund. Well, it was just bad policy. It's a dog of a policy.
So you'll scrap it?
It's a dog of a policy, and I'll tell you why it's a dog of a policy. Because it means borrowing $10 billion of taxpayer money, putting it into essentially the future fund, so investing in international equities and Australian equities and, ironically, property as well as government bonds, that have to then make a return. And it's only the return that gets invested into social housing. Now, had that money had gone through, had that legislation had gone through a year ago, that fund would have actually returned a loss of $370 million. So not only would you have paid interest on the borrowings, but you would have actually made a loss, and no money would have gone into social housing.
So is it a coalition pledge to scrap it?
Well, we certainly want to see more investment in housing generally. Don't get me wrong. But this vehicle is the wrong way of going about it. It's the wrong way of going about it.
So you'd scrap it?
Well, I'm not going to announce policy on.
But if it's so bad and it's based on this horrid principle of borrowing, surely it goes.
It can be done in such better ways. Moreover, Tom, and I think this is really important, there was $2 billion announced for additional social housing that was done only a couple of weeks after the budget, and now that's gone to $3 billion. There's no KPIs attached to it. We don't know how many houses. Nobody's actually committed to building a single thing under this policy. It's pretty much a payment to the states for business as usual. Now, that's not a housing policy. That's a sweetener. That's the wrong way of going about this.
The voice referendum as well has been a big topic this week. If it does fail, does Labor take some responsibility for that?
Well, we're not planning for it to fail. We're working for it to win. And the reason that we're doing that is because we know that we can get better results if we listen to people. And I think that that is a proposition that is intuitively sensible. I'm actually really looking forward to getting out of the Parliament and into the community in the next few weeks in the lead up to the referendum and having the opportunity to talk with Australians about that.
There's been a lot of talk around the no side, though. Will you be blaming the no side if it fails, or say that could have run our campaign better?
Well, I think we're focused now on ensuring that the voice does succeed. And again, the reason is because it is a proposition that's come from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. In the end, it's not about parliamentarians, it's not about people in this building, it's actually about ordinary people. And everyone will get a say in October, and I'm looking forward to the conversation in the lead up to that day.
What about the no campaign, Jane? Revelation this week of the tactics used that people will ask, don't say that you're part of the no campaign, talk about Indigenous Australians getting financial compensation if the voice succeeds. Is that honest campaigning?
Well, I think what's dishonest about this entire campaign is that this is the only way forward. You're right, Jen. We do make better decisions when we listen to people. But why is this the only way that we can listen to people? Why is it that a constitutional change that is as radical as the voice proposal is the only way to listen for people? And don't you feel that maybe you have sacrificed the opportunity for constitutional recognition of Indigenous Australians by attaching
I'll let Jenny respond in a moment.
The voice to that? I'm sorry, this is the guts of it.
But that's not the question I asked.
Well, I'm not a member of the Voice campaign.
That's not what I'm asking.
Yeah, but I'm not a member of the Voice campaign. I'm not a member of their tactics team. I'm a member of the coalition.
But we know their
and
tactics.
we are voting no. And we're voting no.
But we know their tactics.
So I'm not going to speak on their behalf. But what
I'm not asking on their behalf. I'm asking if you think the no campaign, those aspects, is that honest campaigning?
Well, as I said, I'm not part of the no campaign. I couldn't answer to their tactics. All I can say is I'm voting no, and I know why I'm voting no.
Okay.
I'm voting no because I don't understand what it is that the government is proposing here, and neither do lots of us.
You can have a view on the campaign.
And if
You're
you
choosing
can't
not to.
understand it, and it risks what we have,
All right.
and it's divisive,
Okay.
and you can't change it.
Very
How
quickly,
can you vote
Jenny.
for it?
Is it strange to rule out legislating this, even if the voice referendum is going to fail, that Anthony Albanese said he won't legislate, even though that's still an option?
We are focused on the question before us. And to go back to some of Jane's earlier remarks, the reason that this is the proposition that we are pursuing is because it's the proposition that's been worked up over a long period of consultation. It comes from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people on the ground who discussed how they wanted to be recognised. And the answer was through a voice to the Parliament and the Executive that can make a practical difference. And that's the proposal we're putting before the Australian
Right out of
people.
time. Enjoy non-Canberra, and I'll see you in person in 4 weeks after it's all run and won. Jenny, thank you.